The US is the largest rental market, estimated around $50 billion. What is currently driving the market?
It's a continued bifurcation of the market. You're getting less and less people that are owning their own. Cash constraints are meaning they want to rent. So they only want to pay for what they're actually using. And rental's the natural way to do that.
So it's growing. And what is the status of the energy transition then in this rental market?
It's very local and regional. So we've got counties, municipalities, cities that are requiring it. You know, California famously, but you'd be surprised. Cities like Naples, Florida, are now requiring more and more electrification, mostly based on noise restrictions, more so than carbon emissions. So the purpose may be different, but the transition is still nonetheless happening in macro. So it's very interesting. Different cities and municipalities, and again, then certain customers. So maybe it's schools or universities that are requiring an electric and lower carbon footprint solution. So different customers for different reasons.
So that's interesting. So it's a different frame.
Yes.
It's about noise and not about decarbonization.
Very much so.
But the solution is that it's clean.
Yes.
If you electrify.
It's a different road to the same place.
We have heard a lot about standardization, considering electrification. Why is that important, and how does this help you as rental companies?
Well, standardization is going to improve your speed to market. And definitely in the U.S. market, speed to market is vital. So if you're slow to get to the market, you may never capture it at all, right? So if you're out inventing your own platform and solution as a manufacturer, this can be very costly and time consuming, not to mention risky, because you probably don't have a staff and infrastructure that's used to developing this kind of solution. So standardization can help really reduce the risk that you would take on as a manufacturer. And again, as a rental company, reducing that risk because standardized items are just simply easier to work with.
Of course, that's the reason to standardize. What are the factors why it is sometimes also tough to standardize? What are the hurdles?
Because everybody loves to do their own thing, and everybody loves to have the answer, right? It's such a natural human thing, but
everybody wants to be Elon Musk, the designer himself.
That's right. That's right. So unfortunately, just doesn't really work that way in practice all that well. So when we work on standardization, it gets us to the destination quicker and typically smoother.
Yeah. Standardization, so work together. How do you see the market evolving in the next, let's say, 10 years, which is a long time?
10 years. We're going to see more and more electrification. I think your under 15 horsepower, absolutely. I think those will be very scarce engines very shortly. Your smaller diesels will be converting to electric solutions as well. As the technology gets better and better, in 10 years, with where we may be with battery solutions, we could probably see even more adoption and just a greater saturation in the market of electrification. It'll become standard.
Is hydrogen popular in the US, for example, for heavier equipment?
Not really. Hydrogen solutions, the infrastructure is not quite there. Ford did some work back in the 90s and early 2000s with smaller vehicles. And you really don't, until you've got now blue or green hydrogen, you really don't want a brown hydrogen solution where they're, cracking, acetylene, some of these things. So unfortunately, our petrochemical industry in the U.S., I just don't see hydrogen making the quick turn right now without serious government infrastructure and support to make that possible.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.